Yo, what up, guys? Max here, back again with another free agency review and draft preview. We're going to continue with the NFC West and look at the San Francisco 49ers. Um, they had a lot of turnover this offseason with the coaching staff and players. They gained Brian Hoyer and Matt Barkley. Oh, God, shit, puberty. and Matt Barkley at quarterback. They signed Tim Hightower out of New Orleans at tailback, which I think he's a good player. They added Pierre Garcon and Marquise Goodwin at wide receiver. I like both those guys. Garcon's been good for a long time, and Goodwin's a burner. Um, they also added Robbie Gould, longtime Bears kicker. He had a kind of rough year the past couple of years, but he's been a really good kicker in the league for a long time. And then they added Malcolm Smith and Kyle, God, I can't remember how to say his last name. The fullback, it's like Polish. Nah, you know what I'm talking about. Kyle J, we'll call him. He is honestly probably a top 3 fullback in the league. They gave him a huge deal too. I think it was like $5 million, which for a fullback's pretty huge. But he can do a lot of things on that offense, so I like that addition. As far as losses go, they obviously lost Kaepernick, and he's still looking for a job. That's big controversy over if he doesn't have a job right now because of his performance on the field or if it's because of the off-field stuff. I'm not really going to get into that right now. But they also lost Torrey Smith, who has been a burner on that team, but they added a guy like that, Marquise Goodwin, so that's not a huge loss. I think the biggest loss was Antoine Bethea, their safety. He's been a good player for a long time. And they also lost Phil Dawson, who's been a good kicker for them for a while, but they added Gold there, so that's give and take. I think, honestly, the best acquisition the 49ers had this offseason was signing Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch. And I really like that they signed them to 6-year deals because they're just going to let those two mesh. And if you really believe in guys like that, I say give them a long-term deal and give them a chance to build what they want. So now they don't have to worry about, hey, I need to try and win right now so I don't lose my job. I don't know, in the Cleveland or Chicago where you're firing your coach every 2 years because he doesn't win, it's like he might make moves that aren't necessarily best for the team's future and are more for let's win right now because he wants to keep his job. But I think if you give guys time and if you believe in them, I think that's the best way to do it, and that's what the 49ers did here. I really like Shanahan. Obviously, his pop's a pretty good coach. As far as the draft goes, I think they really need to draft their QB of the future. Brian Hoyer is probably not the answer there. But I don't, at the second overall pick, I don't think that any of these QBs are worthy of that pick. I mean, people are pretty high on Mitch Trubisky, but I really don't think he could be a great quarterback, but he hasn't really played that much in college, and I don't think he's nearly ready to play in the NFL. I think he needs a couple of years of sitting behind a veteran quarterback, which I don't think the 49ers have the best veteran quarterback out there. So I don't know if that's a fit. Maybe they could trade back if they really want to get a quarterback in the first round. But I would look to the later rounds if I was them. Maybe a guy like Brad Kaya, who his stock his freshman year was really high and it kind of fell off a little bit. But I've watched him play in person in Lincoln when he was on Miami, and I think he's a great talent. He's still really young, so he's got time to develop. And then another guy that I like in the later rounds would be Josh Dobbs. He's a big, strong-armed quarterback. I watched him play a couple times this year, and honestly, he impressed me a lot. I don't know why his stock isn't higher. And he's pretty mobile, so that's a guy I like a lot at quarterback. Sitting there at the pick number 2, though, I would go with Jamal Adams personally, and just slide him in there and replace Bethea. I think he's going to be a great player in the NFL. Maybe like a Tyrann Mathieu type. He's a burner. He's super fast. I think you're in like a 4.33, which is nuts. Or you could go with a guy like Malik Hooker there if you want a bigger body guy. Or you can maybe look at like a Jonathan Allen type, because I'm assuming Myles Garrett will be gone for the defensive line. If you add any of those guys, I think they're going to be key pieces on the defense for 10 years. And then I also think they need to look in the draft for a wide receiver, because Kyle Shanahan doesn't really have his Julio Jones type, and I don't know if they'll be able to find. They obviously won't be able to find like a Julio Jones caliber player, but if they can get a big-bodied receiver like that can run, I think that'd be huge for them. I know Garcon kind of fits that bill, but I think they need a true number one type like Julio Jones is. So if they could find that, I think the 49ers aren't going to win the Super Bowl next year, and they probably won't make the playoffs, but I think they'll be a lot better, and I really like the hirings they made, and honestly, I think the future is pretty bright for the 49ers right now, so we'll see where they're at in a couple of years. But that's it for them. I just want to let you guys know as well, I'm doing a mock draft here, and I'll probably release it in about a week or so, so stay tuned for that. That's going to be really exciting. And just keep watching them, enjoying making videos, and putting my input in on teams. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.